Welcome back to the Arbitrary YouTube channel. In today's class we'll be learning how to make this beautiful mermaid skirt with front slit. So it has a cut together tail and a front slit as we have seen. If this is something you would like to learn, kindly stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. Okay, so for this tutorial the focus is majorly on the slit in front, but I'm going to rush through how to cut a mermaid skirt for us. I have several tutorials on that, so if you want a detailed tutorial on how to cut a mermaid skirt, you can check any of those tutorials out. So I have this paper here, and I'm just going to be making this starting point here as my waistline. Then from your waistline you measure where your hip length is, which I'm going to be assuming to be here. Then from your hip length you measure your knee length, which I'm going to assume to be here, and also you measure your full length. That's how long you want your skirt to be. That's from your waist to your floor length. So after making all of this mark, here you're going to mark your round waist measurement divided by 4, here your hip divided by 4, and here you're going to mark your, you can mark your hip, your waist measurements on the knee length as well, or you can just deduct 1.5 or 1 inch from your hip measurement, and then you mark that on your knee. So you connect your waist to hip, your whip to knee, and then from there you measure how it's like an A-line skirt. It's going to be big on the hem because this is a mermaid skirt. So you measure how long you are, how wide you want it to be. So from there you're going to take your ruler and then connect diagonally like this. So this is going to be the pattern for the front. So after making this for your front, the next thing is for you to cut out this pattern that you have here. So like I said, there's a detailed tutorial on this on the channel already. I'm going to link it down below so you can check that out. So this is going to be my front. So now for the back, I'm going to be cutting the tail together with the bodies. So the first thing I'm going to do now is to create like my allowance for the tail. So from your center back, from here you can measure between 7 to 10 inches like this, and then you rule it down. So I'm assuming this to be the allowance for my tail. So after measuring like that, the next thing is for me to bring the, so this is the center fold of my skirt. I'm just going to place the center fold where this line stops like this. Okay, I hope you can see that. And then I'm going to make few adjustments. So I'm going to extend my hip line. This is my waist and this is my knee. I'm going to extend my knee line as well. So I've held this part down with my tape. So now what I'm going to do now is to take my zipper allowance. So on the waistline I'm going to measure 1 inch, on the hip line I'll measure 1.5 inches so that I can have my butt allocation, and then here I'll measure 1 inch, and then 1 inch I'll continue it like that. So now I'm going to connect that like this. So once you connect it, you will see that this butt part is going to be a bit protruding compared to what you have there. So now for the mermaid part of the skirt, depending on how long you want your tail to be, so let's assume that I want it to have like an extension of maybe 10 to 15 inches. So you measure that and then you stop it here. Remember, this is where our actual skirt stops. Okay, so now for the back, I want my tail to stop here. So the next thing you're going to do now is to connect from your knee here. Okay, you can also connect from maybe somewhere under your butt, and then you connect that to where the tail is going to stop. So now for you to sew the front and back together, remember this is the side of your skirt. What you just need to do now is to connect from where this mermaid tail stops in a circular form, like a curve like this, and then you connect it back to where your tail, where your side measurement stops, so that you have the same measurement on the side of the front and back. So once you're okay with what you have there, you come in with your scissors and then you cut out this new shape that you have. So for the side of your back, you just need to maintain the exact thing that you have on your front as well. So you can see I have cut it out. So this is the side for my front back as well. And then for the tail, you come here and then you cut out the new shape that you have for your tail as well, and that is how you cut your mermaid skirt. So now I can remove the front. So this is my back with the tail, and this is my front. And when you want to sew it, you can see that your side is going to remain the same. So I'll go and cut this on my fabric now, so that I can show us how we can input a slit to the front part alone. Okay, so this is it on my fabric. You can see my waistline, my hip line, my knee length, and then this is the full length of my skirt. So now you need this center front. It's folded into two. By the time I open it out, this is what I have. So you can press open the center front so that you can know your crease line by the time you open it up. Or if you don't want to open it up, all you just need to do is to choose the side where you want to place your slit. Okay, it can be on your left side or on your right side. So when you're sure of the side you want to place this slit, I'm going to fold again like this. So I want this slit to be on the right side, so I'll just keep it like this. So from the center front, I'm going to measure like my dart line. Okay, the dart I'm working with is 8. The bust span, sorry, I'm working with is 8 divided by 2 is 4, and I've already held my dart as you have seen. So there I'm just going to mark that point. So I have 4 inches here. I'm going to repeat the 4 inches here as well. Okay, then you measure how long you want your slit to be. So where you want your slit to start from, I'll just leave it at around 18 inches. It can be more or less depending on how big you want it to be. So now I know my slit is going to start from here, so I'm just going to measure that 4 inches all the way down, so that it can guide me on how I'm going to draw my slit. So after measuring it all down, I'm going to bring in my ruler, and then I'm going to connect that up to where the slit is going to start. So after making all of these connections, now I can now open up the skirt and draw out my slit. So the slit is going to be placed here, and it's going to start here and stop on the hem. So now from where the slit is going to start on your hem here, depending on how open you want your slit to be, you can measure like 3 inches on both sides. So it can be more or less depending on what you want. This is just an illustration. And then from here that the slit is starting, I'm going to draw a curve to meet that mark that I made on both sides. Okay, and this is going to be my slit opening. Okay, you can see the way I have curved the opening like this. So after curving your slit opening like this, so to cut it, since it's identical, you can just put it on fold by the middle, and then you just curve so that you have exactly the same thing on both sides. So this is me putting it on fold, and then now I am cutting out this slit. So now to cover up these rough edges that you're going to have, if you are going to be fully lining your slit, what you just need to do is to cut out your lining the same way you have cut out your main fabric. So let me put it so that we can see what the slit looks like. So you can see the slit that we have created here. Okay, so you just cut your lining the same way you have cut this, and then you use them to turn out each other. But I'm just going to be turning this with my bias. Okay, especially if you are working with a short lining that always stops just a little below the butt. So if you don't want your lace to be covered downwards, all you just need to do is to get a bias or a facing, and then you use it to turn this part. So after turning this part, you just bring in your skirt, your back skirt, and then you place it on it so that you can sew it on the skirt. So I'll just bring the skirt now. So like I said, you just get a matching color of bias like this, and then you use it to turn all of these rough edges that you have there. Then after turning it, I'm just going to bring in my back part, the back part of my skirt with the cut together tail, just like I explained, and then I'm going to sew it on both sides. So I'll go over to the sewing machine now and do this, and then I'll bring it back for us to see what it looks like. Okay, so the skirt is joined on the side seam now, as we have seen, and this is what it looks like. So you can see how beautiful the slit came out, and this is the cut together train that we created as well. So this is the full view of the mermaid skirt. You can see how simple it is to make this and how beautiful this looks. I hope you enjoyed making this beautiful tutorial with me. If you enjoyed it, let us know in the comment section. Like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.